Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Peter Hoffman.
And I'm Robert Connett. Thank you for joining us.
Delaware County and all of central Indiana got blasted with snow and cold weather yesterday and even more today. And
residents have had to adapt to it rather quickly. Our forecaster Adam Burniston has been tracking the trend of snow and cold weather here in the middle of November and is going to tell us exactly how much more we can expect. Adam?
Thank you, Robert. We have had quite a bit of snow and some well below temperatures in Muncie and surrounding area. Just last night into this morning, we got about 2.5 inches, some areas at 3 inches. Right now in Muncie, we are currently at 16 degrees, but the main thing to look at is the wind chill. Right now, it feels like 2 below zero, and that's because of this gusty wind out of the west at 22 miles an hour, and that will be a trend throughout our week as well. But just in the last 14 hours, we saw some peaks of sun as well as some scattered flurries throughout today, adding to that snow total just a little bit. But then coming up, I will talk about the below average temperatures that we've been having and will have later in the week, some possible snow later in our forecast, and your 7-day forecast, all that and more coming up, but back to the desk.
Thanks, Adam. France's Interior Minister today said, based on intelligence analysis, a strong presumption exists that a French citizen named Maxime Hachard participated in the despicable crimes shown on the latest video from ISIS, the beheading of Indianapolis native Peter Kasich.
The video released over the weekend depicts the slayings of several men described by ISIS as Syrian soldiers and appears to show the aftermath of that beheading. Jim Sciutto has more.
A graphic display of savagery in ISIS's latest video. A masked man believed to be the terrorist known as Jihadi John stands above an American's decapitated head.
This is Peter Edward Kasich, a U.S. citizen of your country.
Former U.S. soldier Peter Kasich served in Iraq in 2007. He returned to the Middle East as an aid worker in Syria, where ISIS captured him.
There's this impression, this belief that there is no hope, That's when it's more important than ever that we come in against all odds and try to do something.
Kasich is the 5th Western hostage to be killed by ISIS, but after 4 very similar videos, the latest one is notably different. For the first time, the speaker gives away his location, the Syrian town of Dabiq. And unlike those before him, Kasich does not make a final statement on tape, nor are his last moments before the execution shown. Still, in this 16-minute video, the slaughter of a dozen men described as Syrian military pilots is gruesome and dramatized. Unmasked ISIS fighters grab for their knives as they lead the soldiers to their deaths.
But we say to you, Obama.
Speaking in English and cloaked in black, the man, who seems to be the same killer as in the previous videos, has a message for President Obama, taunting him to send U.S. ground troops.
Your forces will return, greater in number than they were before. You will return.
The extent of the U.S. return continues to be debated. This weekend, the president said there are circumstances where ground troops, once off the table, would be considered.
If we discovered that ISIL had gotten possession of a nuclear weapon and we had to run an operation to get it out of their hands, then yes, you can anticipate that not only would Chairman Dempsey recommend me sending U.S. ground troops to get that weapon out of their hands, but I would order it.
Still, Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel tells CNN's Barbara Starr that U.S. combat troops are out of the question unless the military needs them.
If we get to any other variation of recommendations from General Dempsey, then we'll deal with it. But we're not there yet.
And President Obama issued a statement on the event this weekend as well, calling it pure evil, and he offers prayers and condolences to Kasich's family.
A Virginia woman has been charged with lying to federal investigators about her support for the Islamic State known as ISIS. Apparently, Heather Elizabeth Kaufman of Henrico County has been promoting the terrorist group through Facebook. Court documents show that she appeared in a federal court in Richmond, Virginia on Monday. According to an affidavit filed by an FBI agent, Kaufman promoted the extremist organization on several Facebook accounts she maintained under various names. Now, that prompted an undercover investigation. The FBI says she talked about making arrangements for a man she claims was her husband to train and fight with the Islamic State in Syria, only to have him back out when they eventually split up. Investigators then set up a sting operation and caught Kaufman offering to connect an FBI agent to ISIS. The judge that heard the case Monday ordered to have her held until a Wednesday afternoon detention hearing.
The House of Representatives is demanding answers about a cyber attack that has shut down the State Department's unclassified email system. Democratic lawmakers on the House Government Oversight Committee wrote a letter to Secretary of State John Kerry requesting details about the data breach, including when it was first discovered and if it went undetected. State Department spokesman Jeff Rathke told reporters that the attack was only on unclassified email systems, not business databases that contain Americans' information. Rathke also said that the shutdown that occurred this weekend was scheduled after the breach was discovered a few weeks ago.
And Missouri Governor Jay Nixon declared a state of emergency today ahead of an expected grand jury decision in the Michael Brown case. According to a statement, the governor deployed the Missouri National Guard to assist local law enforcement in protecting citizens and property. St. Louis Mayor Francis Slay says the Guard will not be on the front lines dealing with protesters.
We have to find some positive out of this negative. We have to come together and say we have to make sure we change the system so we don't have to keep this being repeated over and over again in so many American cities. We got to figure out as Americans how to break this vicious cycle of us losing our children and it being swept under the rug.
Governor Nixon's state of emergency declaration will expire in 30 days. The Healthy Indiana plan may not be ending as soon as planned. Find out what Governor Pence has to say about it next.
And with winter finally here, we'll have a few tips to make sure you're safe and prepared this season. Stay tuned.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against the wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
This is NewsLink Indiana.
Welcome back. Ball State administrators are considering tightening performance review requirements for tenured faculty. If approved, this could lead to the termination of long-term employees who have had 2 consecutive years of negative reviews or 3 negative years of reviews out of the past 5. While Indiana does not mandate post-tenure review, Ball State is behind other Hoosier universities. Purdue and Indiana University both have a process under review that would take faculty reviews into consideration for salary and dismissal decisions. However, Faculty Council Chair Michael Hanley says that misinformation is being spread about what this policy would actually do. He explains that it isn't exactly tenure review, it just monitors performance after faculty are tenured. The policy is currently being reviewed by the Salary and Benefits Committee and could go into effect by December or January.
Today, Governor Mike Pence's office announced that his administration received word Friday that federal officials had approved the renewal of Indiana's Medicaid-covered health savings accounts for low-income residents throughout the next year. As of October 1st, the Healthy Indiana plan enrolled nearly 61,000 Indiana residents. The approval by the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services does not affect Pence's request to expand Medicaid coverage in Indiana under a similar program called Healthy Indiana Plan 2.0. The CMS has not said if it will approve the plan that Pence claims could cover an additional 350,000 low-income residents. The plan is available to adults who earn less than the federal poverty level who otherwise don't qualify for Medicaid.
Open on Thanksgiving or face a penalty. One mall in New York is allegedly threatening to make things tough for retailers who do not welcome Thanksgiving Day shoppers at 6 p.m. Andrea Marvin reports.
Stores in the Galleria Mall are preparing to open even earlier for Black Friday, this time on Thanksgiving.
There was a little controversy. They were talking about opening at 8 o'clock, then it went to 6 o'clock. And a lot of people said, oh, I'm not working at that time, you know. But they decided it was going to be 6 o'clock.
Employees and store managers tell us that was announced at a mall meeting about a week ago.
And now to ask people to break up that holiday and then come in and work, it's like going to be pulling teeth.
She says it's not fair to smaller businesses in the mall.
We got such short notice on it, and not having that time frame of, you know, we have just a couple weeks now that we need to be staffing for all of that.
Stores say they are not getting clear answers from mall management as to if they are going to be fined for not opening. Mall management told them, quote, "We caution you to open at 6 p.m. when the rest of the mall opens, and that it's mandatory." Several stores tell us they know there is a potential fine that exists if they don't open during the mall's normal hours. How much all depends on their lease. Stores have heard the fine could be up to $200 per hour.
I think it should be their choice if they want to open or not. Some businesses might not do real well, but they still have to open and pay employees.
We've reached out to the general manager both Friday and Saturday when we were told he'd be at the mall. We never heard back.
Next year, what's to stop them from opening at 4 or 3 or 10 o'clock in the morning?
The early shopping just concerns people who still value the importance of giving thanks.
It's a holiday with their families. It's like one of the holidays that we have left where people actually get together and eat together.
The Walden Galleria has not released exactly how much the retailers will be fined if they do not open by 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, but it is enough to motivate even the most reluctant managers.
While Hoosiers have already gotten a taste of wintry conditions, there are a few precautions that everyone should take before we really get into the thick of the snow season. Your car requires a number of preparations, including getting your oil changed and battery checked before the winter hits. Having your engine serviced as well as keeping an emergency kit in your car can be the difference in dire situations. If you are stuck, running your car only 10 minutes every hour to warm up will help conserve gas. The emergency kit should include items like blankets, dry clothes, extra mittens, socks, hats, food, and water. Also, cat litter, gravel, or sand is good to have to help get your tires traction. And letting a friend know where you are headed and when is also a good way to ensure safety when you're out in those not so forgiving conditions. And Rob had some bad wintry conditions like I was just talking about today, but I want to know, is it going to stick around?
Yeah, it's very interesting. We have the cold temperatures, we have the wind, maybe more snow. Adam Bernstein is going to give us all the details coming up in weather.
Seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
This is NewsLink Indiana.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Peter, it was snowy, it was cold, it was windy all day today, and I did not like it.
No, it was brutal, Rob. You weren't the only one, and I know many others felt the same way. But I want to know, is it going to stay around? Is this harsh weather here to stay for the winter season? And for that, Adam Bernstein has everything over at our weather desk.
Thank you, Peter. We have had some below average temperatures for this time of year. Just today only got up to a high of 31 degrees when our normal is 51 degrees. Now that's because of this Arctic air intruding into our area and even into the great southern Great Plains and even the Gulf region. Dallas is at 34 right now. But as we move closer to home, we do see Indiana still seeing the same picture of below average temperatures just to our north in Fort Wayne. They're already 4 below zero right now. Indianapolis only at 1 degree. And even whenever you factor in the winds, we have some gusty winds around our area. That's whenever you'll get the wind chill, which is a big factor for this time of the year and what we have to look for as we head out for our evening commute. Indianapolis is still at that 1 degrees. Muncie is at 0 degrees. Shelbyville and Bloomington all the way down to 4 degrees as what it feels like outside. But currently right here in Muncie, we are at 16 degrees. But like I was saying, it feels like 0 degrees outside because of this west wind at 17 miles an hour. And we are seeing some flurries as well. Our next snow system is going to be for Wednesday morning, and that's when we're going to see some snow start to move into our area around Wednesday morning. Most of it will stay off to our north, but we will see some flurries and scattered snow throughout the day, and that will contribute less than an inch of snow, but we will see some accumulation. For tonight, we're still going to see those scattered flurries sticking around, but as I was talking about, that wind chill is the big factor. We could see wind chill values as low as 7 below zero because of this west-southwest wind at 16 to 18 miles an hour. Otherwise, I am forecasting a low of 9 degrees. But then for tomorrow, we're going to see those breezy conditions still around with some scattered flurries throughout the morning and throughout the day as well. And then for the 7-day forecast, we're going to see that snow on Wednesday, only the high of 31. Then Thursday and Friday are going to be in the mid-20s to upper 20s with sunny conditions. And then for the weekend, we're going to see a wintry mix on Saturday, turning into some rain on Sunday. Temperatures getting into the mid-40s. So we're going to see some cold temperatures for now, but we could see a warm-up later on.
Looking forward to that warm-up, absolutely. Thanks, Adam. Coming up on NewsLink Indiana, the Ball State men's basketball team hosted their home opener tonight.
We'll have a report from Worthen Arena on how Coach James Whitford and his Cards played coming up in sports. Don't go anywhere.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With a unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
This is NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to NewsLink Indiana Sports. I'm Tony Sanlaban, here with today's headlines, and we will open things up with an opener. That's right, the Ball State men's basketball team opened up their home schedule tonight as they hosted IU Kokomo. That game recently hit the final buzzer, and NewsLink Indiana's David Jones is live at Worthen Arena with more. David?
Thanks, Tony. The Ball State Cardinals did not take long to open up against IU Kokomo. They certainly got things going on a good road as they had scored a lot in quick fashion. Ball State went into halftime at 62-30. Ball State also came out in the second half looking more as aggressive as when they left. Ball State had really out-rebounded the Kokomo and then really out-stilled them. Like, they led them to steals. Ball State was led by Jeremy Tyler with 23 points. Sean Sellers also led the team with assists with 6. He also scored 18 points. Bo Calhoun scored 12 points, which made a career high for him. Ball State is on the road next at IUPUI November 22nd. This has been live. David Jones. Tony, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, David. And Ball State was coming off of a loss to number 25 Utah, a loss that actually impressed many people as the Cardinals were able to keep the game close for much of the contest and disrupt a lot of the Utes' offensive rhythm. Freshman Sean Sellers went off, leading the team with 26 points, the most ever by a BSU freshman, and earning MAC West Division Player of the Week honors in the process. Not bad for a first start. He came into tonight looking to continue that production, and as you heard, played pretty well. Another interesting note on tonight's game, it was a bit of a family affair for Ball State's own Jeremy Tyler. The freshman played against his brother, Jerome Campbell, who is the starting guard for IU Kokomo. For more information on tonight's ball game, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NewsLink Sports. And speaking of sports on the hardwood, the Ball State women's volleyball team had a good weekend as well, closing out the 2014 regular season with a 3-1 victory over MAC rival Akron on Saturday night. The victory pushes the Cardinals to finish with the regular season record of 17-12 overall and 11-5 in the MAC. Now BSU will turn its attention to the Mid-American Conference tournament, where it will play as the number 4 seed and have a first-round bye. Cardinal fans will want to pay particular attention to the match between number 5 Western Michigan and number 8 Buffalo, as the winner of that contest will be Ball State's first opponent. The Cardinals' first match is scheduled for this coming Saturday, with the opening serve set for 5:30. And finally tonight, some great news for the Ball State women's basketball team, in particular for junior forward Natalie Fontaine. Fontaine was named the Mid-American Conference West Division Player of the Week, and she absolutely earned it. On Friday night's game against Purdue, in front of a huge crowd of just over 4,000 fans, Fontaine shined, leading all scoring with players with 21 points and added 12 rebounds. That total makes Fontaine the 23rd member of the Ball State women's basketball 1,000-point club. She reached the 1,000-point mark faster than anyone in Ball State history, with the exception of Hall of Famer Tamara Bowie. Fontaine and the rest of the women's basketball team will continue their 2-game homestand when they host Evansville on Wednesday, with tip-off set for 7 p.m. And guys, I know a bunch of us probably watched that Colts game last night. I know a lot of Colts fans are probably still kind of feeling that burn from that loss. But more bad news, running back Ahmad Bradshaw fractured his ankle and will more than likely miss the remainder of the season.
Not very good. Colts had a hard time with the rushing game against the Patriots, and now you take out their top running back.
Exactly. So they're going to be looking to Trent Richardson and probably Dan Herron as well, but definitely leaning on Ball State grad Jonathan Newsom and the rest of that defense to help him out for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tony. Allegations against Bill Cosby have resurfaced. We'll have more details for you when we come back.
And a group of Ball State students are hosting an event this week to help those in nursing homes.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
This is NewsLink Indiana.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Robin White with all things entertainment. After 30 years of entertainment, Bill Cosby has been known for his humorous ways and various sweaters. Now again, another title has surfaced that Bill Cosby has yet to completely deny: a sexual abuser. After Cosby refused to answer questions on NPR about multiple sexual assault allegations, another woman came forth about a personal incident formerly involving her and the actor. Shockingly, this isn't the first time Cosby has been accused of such acts. Publicist Joan Tarsis announced Cosby has raped her when she was 19 years old in an essay for Hollywood Elsewhere yesterday. Tarsis claims it took 20 years to reveal, yet her story follows up on a previous essay of another woman revealing that she too was drugged and raped by Cosby. It's obvious that The Cosby Show not only changed television history, but also lives. BSU students offered a variety show. Wednesday at 7 p.m., the show was featuring 13 acts such as comedy, music, and dancing. It will be performed at Music and Memory Muncie. A Ball State student service group took the initiative to fundraise for the organization, whose mission is to bring personalized iPod music mixes to Alzheimer's patients and dementia patients. This year, the BSU service group hopes to reach out to a second nursing home. Funds raised will continue to be used for personalized music therapy for the patients. Admission is only $3 and tickets will be available at the door. Now for a final, that's all with our entertainment news. I'm Robin White, now back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Robin. Adam, let's take last look at weather.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, we have had those below average temperatures, but we're going to see our next chance of snow on Wednesday. Wednesday morning, we'll see some accumulation, less than an inch, but throughout Wednesday, then it'll remain scattered. And then Thursday and Friday, we'll have a cool down with only highs reaching the mid to upper 20s. And then for the weekend, we start to see a warm up with a wintry mix starting on Saturday, turning into rain on Sunday, and temperatures getting into the mid 40s for Sunday and into the next work week.
So again, cold, but then a chance of warming up towards the end of the week.
Yeah, so you'll definitely want to bundle up. There'll definitely be some wind chill that I was talking about before. But yeah, we have a warm coming.
All right, thank you, Adam. That's all we have for you tonight on NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision. For Adam Bernston, I'm Robert Conant.
And for Tony Sandlaben, I'm Peter Hoffman. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Enjoy your evening.
Good show.